Joy in the City is a program that highlights people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often, we hear about the problems and dysfunction in our culture, but we are coming with a different approach as we take a look at the good things that are going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. We want to thank our program sponsors, Park Home, for the donation of furniture used in our studio, Taylor Design and Events for beautifully decorating our studio space, and our platinum sponsor, Harry's Construction, for remodeling furniture or design needs. These organizations are second to none. Thank you for your support. Today we continue with the segment called Faith Leaders of Our City. This is an extended biography of local pastors and leaders as we hear about their background, call, purpose, and celebrate what God is doing in their congregations.
Hi, I'm Troy Ferguson. Today we're going to sit down and have a chat with Pastor Mike Hammer, someone who is relatively new to the area.
I grew up in a small town in Brookville, Pennsylvania, about 4,700 people. Graduated college, moved to Boston. I moved to Boston for college to study youth ministry. Graduated, moved to Punxsutawney, which is where my wife is from, and ended up on staff at a church there for 7 years. Moved to Altoona to plant Element Church, and have been rolling. I don't know. I love pro wrestling, and I love comic books, and pretty simple in that regard. I grew up in a smaller church, nice church, good people in Brookville. I was not a Christian. I believed in God, but I wasn't a Christian. And grew up, learned all the right answers, for Sunday school and classes, and knew all that stuff. Hadn't made a decision to actually commit my life and accept forgiveness, salvation through Jesus. Started going to teen camp, which is in Butler, and went to teen camp for a few years and made some really great friends. And while I was there, it was a Thursday night, it was July 13th of 2000, that everything just kind of finally clicked. And said, okay, I'm gonna give my life to Jesus. I'm in. And about a month later, going into my senior year of high school, I woke up one day and I just had this weird sense that I was supposed to go into be a youth pastor. I never had a youth pastor. I'd only met youth pastors at that camp. All I knew is they hung out with teenagers and they seemed to eat a lot of pizza. And that's my understanding, but it's like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I kind of put all my other plans on hold and decided to go after youth ministry. And it was a weird, some people always wonder, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? What does that calling look like? How will I know? And I tell people sometimes, I think God was just really clear with me because I'm dumb. And I probably would have screwed it up otherwise. So, but that was my calling. And I knew that's what I was supposed to do, and went to college for it. And went to a college I never visited. Never checked it out beforehand. 500 miles away from home. Went from 4,700 people to Boston. Went from rural Western Pennsylvania to liberal New England, and it was the right move. It was really good. We've gone through some pretty interesting, let's say 18 months, 24 months. A lot of changes we've had to make for the sake of taking care of team and set up longevity for the church. So that has been interesting, but we've seen a lot of young people, young families been getting involved. We actually, this past Sunday, we were supposed to have a bunch of baptisms, and we weren't able to do that, and so that was pretty disappointing. A lot of kids, parents, actually, like there was one with like an entire families to get baptized, and so but there's been a lot of really good things happening in that regard. We having moved stuff digital has been really helpful in connecting with people and helping people to stay connected when they're otherwise traveling or being out and about. But we're seeing people start to get it in a way. Like as a newer church, there's not generations of people that have been there. So you don't have generations deep in this commitment, this understanding of how do you live faithfully following Jesus. What does that look like being faithful in regards to the church? But we've been seeing people who've been starting to get it and understand and appreciate and buy in and get more involved in serving and living out their faith in meaningful ways. And so that has been really good, but it's building a 10-story building, like establishing the foundation first, and it takes time. You want to make sure you get it right. So.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Join the City True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch other episodes of people and organizations having an impact on our community through our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Then join us back here next week at the same time for another True Story episode. Be encouraged because God is moving in our city.
God is on the move.